Hello, my name is Ndongo Kahehu of CAP Youth Empowerment Institute. In the last video, we talked about business compliance, what it is, what it's required of it, and it is my hope that you have been able to carry out some of the activities that we suggested you do, including reviewing the step-by-step guides to creating an account on the eCitizen web portal. This time we talk about business registration. First, the different kinds of businesses that you can register. There are very many, but we will focus on just a few here, the most common, and then we will go into some detail about one of them. That's the first one, is the business name. Business name is the simplest form of a business under which you can operate as a business in Kenya. It refers to a name or a title under which a person or an entity operates a business. It can actually be your name. You can register your name as a business. You can Ndongo Kahehu Enterprises. There is no such business, but you can. There are several forms of business names. One is a sole proprietorship. A sole proprietorship or a sole trader, it's an individual business that is owned by one person and that is considered as a legal entity, referring to the person who owns that business. So you and the business are considered as one by law. Then another one is a partnership. A partnership is a business that is owned by more than one person. It's also considered a legal entity that if you are two people owning a business, then you are considered as one legal entity under the name that you have registered that partnership. So there have to be two or more persons in order for a partnership to be recognized, and each person, of course, invests in the business, and the partners share the profits, but they also share the losses. If the business makes losses, the partners share in the losses, and the liability in case something goes wrong rests on the two or three or whatever number of partners make up the business equally. Then another kind of business which is fairly common that you'll see quite often is a limited company. A limited company, full name is a limited liability company. This is where you register a business that is considered by law to be separate from the people who registered it or who ran it. So it's considered like a legal business, like a legal person, like a person. It can be sued separate from the people, the directors and the people who run that business. And when that company is created, you have to indicate the shareholding. The shareholding indicates the level of liability that the people who have started it own in that company. So the number of shares you own in a company normally should reflect how much you can benefit from profits made by that company if it makes profits, how much share of losses you can have if it makes losses, but also in case something goes very wrong and say you are taken to court, it also defines the level of liability that can rest on the person owning the shares. So those are the two main businesses known in Kenya and quite common in Kenya. As a young person and as part of the KPI business training program, we normally require you to only start with a business name. Once you become familiar with running a business and it becomes important for you, for example, to create partnerships or to create limited liability companies, you can do that. Our focus in this video will be on registering a business in Kenya, a business name in Kenya. You can register a business name in Kenya as a partnership or a sole proprietorship, like we already said. And of course, it's registered for a single line of business, usually. A specific activity that you want to do. So say you want to create videos as a business, then you'll be required to indicate that your business will be the creation of videos or media content. What are the requirements for registering a business name in Kenya? The very first one, which we went through in the last video, is to have an eCitizen account. And if you haven't reviewed that video, haven't got an eCitizen account, you may wish to go back and go through it because it takes you through the process of registering for an eCitizen account. Once you have registered for your eCitizen account, the other thing you'll need to have is the proposed name for the business that has to be submitted for name search. This is a process that the government carries out to ensure that the name you have chosen is unique to you. It helps to stop the challenge or the problem of having businesses that have very similar names or that have exactly the same kind of name, which can cause all sorts of problems. These days, the business name search is done very easily because the government has automated most of the processes, like we mentioned previously. And so they can find out whether your name is acceptable or not very quickly. If it is approved, then the registration process can start, and that search is valid for 30 days. So say you want to register Dongo Kahehu Enterprises, and you have gone to the registrar of societies or to the eCitizen web portal and submitted that name for search. And the search results have come out and said, no other person has registered a company called Dongo Enterprises, so you can register it. You can go ahead and register it. From that point, you have 30 days to register the company. If you don't register, the search lapses and you have to repeat it again. Then the other thing you will need is the nature of business, what activities the business shall undertake, whether it's a sole proprietorship or a partnership. And remember what we said, a business name is supposed to conduct only one line of business. Then after that, you need to provide the name of the proprietor or the proprietors in full. So if it's a sole proprietorship, it's just you registering the name. So it's the names as registered in your identity documents in Kenya. If it's a partnership, it's the name of you and your partners in full. And the next thing after that is you need to provide a postal address for the business name. And after that, you have to provide also, in addition, a physical address for the business. A physical address includes the name of a road or a plot number, the town, and the county where the business is located. A physical address is meant to help somebody to locate where your business is being run. They should be able to use that information to come to where your business is located. Then after that, you need a copy of your identity card or passport. And if you are registering together with other people, you'll need copies of the same documents for your partners. After that, you need a passport photograph of yourself if you are the proprietor, or of all the partners if you're registering a partnership. Then you need also an email address of the business, which is distinct from that of the proprietors. So in the last video, we talked to you about how to register an email address. The process you use to register an email address for you as an individual is the same that you can use to register an email address for the business. And you need to provide that it can't be the same as the one that you use as yourself. And finally, the residential and physical address of the proprietors or the partners. So this is for compliance requirements. It's supposed to make it possible for authorities or anybody to find the people who own a business should they need to do so. So that address, again, will include the name of a road where their house is located, or the house number, the name of the town, the county, and in some cases the country, if it happens that one of your partners is not living in Kenya. Once you have had all those things, you follow the following simple step-by-step guide for registering a business name, and you should be all set to go.
Business name registration. How do you go about that? We shall learn on that today. First, log into a citizen account, then take this option of business registration service. The system prompts you to log in again. Just log in again, and then we shall continue. I've that for my case. I've already done that. Then this blue part here, it's a link. Click on it, make application. It brings us to this new page. We want business name registration, so we take the first option here, apply now. Click on that. and then there's some writings here before you start what you need to know. And then there is what is a business name. You can read that, but for now, because of time, let's just click apply now. This page gives us an option whereby you write the preferred name that you want to register your name under. Previously, we used to have one option, and then you would apply for it. If it fails, you apply again. It used to be very time consuming, but for now you have an option to write 5 different names, such that if one fails, they'll pick another one. So I'll just populate that, and then you specify the instructions, if any, if your business name is affiliated to another company. But if there's none, you write none, and then you click on save and continue. The other page that comes on, it's the applicant's detail, whereby you are a sole proprietor, or you are the proprietor, the owner of the business. And then you write, you just fill it up. It comes here to this section, nature of business. There's so many types presented, but if yours, there you can pick other, and then you specify the type of business that you're going to undertake. Mine is entertainment, so I'll just write entertainment here, and then save and continue. Relevant documents, I don't have any other document to upload, so I just save and continue. But if you have any, you can upload that. Then registered addresses. Now this is the physical place where I am, from where I'll be operating my business. So I'll just fill that. You choose according to the place you are in. I've just populated that very fast so that I move on because of time. So you also write that. Then on the email section, make sure that the email that you're using is not registered in iTax. After that, you click continue, and it brings us to this new page. You click on add proprietor, and then you write your designation. You're the proprietor, and then you are a Kenyan citizen perhaps, and then you write your ID number, then you write your first name, and then you verify that yes, it has verified that. It brings even your KRA pin. Then you can fill the details. I know you know how to fill these things, but make sure that you give the very specific particulars. And then don't forget about the passport. Remember to upload your photo passport. After that, you click on submit, and there we are. Then click on save, and then we continue. On this part, it shows that you've done the process well. It gives us a BN2 form. Download it. The form looks like this. You're supposed to sign this section here of the signature. You just sign there. I'll show you an example of how I've signed that. Yeah, I've signed here, and then after that you just upload it. I've signed that, so let's upload. I've already selected it. Just I'll submit it, and then I'll review. Yes, after uploading, it brings me to these pages. Then I'll click on you can just see that. I'll click on document finally, and then I check here that I understand and confirm. I hereby confirm that I have provided all the information as required by law, and then I'll finish that. It takes me to the payment section. I know you people know how to use M-Pesa, so go to M-Pesa or any other type of payment that you have, Airtel Money, e-agent, and then fill in the details and complete the transaction. After you've completed the transaction, it tells you successful. Your payment has been processed successfully, and then you go to documents here. You'll find the receipt, the payment receipt, to show that you paid. Now, once you're done with that, you come up here. Okay, let's see the receipt first before we go there. The receipt looks like this. It shows you the breakdown of how your money was used, the 950 shillings that we paid. So that's it. So we go back. Here is my back button. Yeah, there we are. Now you come to personal here up. Click on this. You see, it tells us that the status is in review, meaning that we have done that well, but we cannot have the business name now. It's in review, and after 2 working days, now I'm talking after 2 working days, I had to wait for 2 working days, my business is registered. My business name is registered, and I have a sample of that to show you what certificates I'll get. So it's after 2 working days. 2 working days I had to wait all that, and it means that I filled the information very accurately. So now here, these are the documents that we get: business registration certificate and name reservation certificate. I'll download both so that I can show you how they look like. I'll not give you the exact thing, but at least I give you the picture so that when you see them, you're familiar with what we are having here. So please, this process, I've done it very hurriedly or very fast, but it takes time. You need to be patient, and I've told you I had to finish this after 2 working days. Yes, those. So this is the name search and reservation certificate, and then there's the business registration certificate itself.
If you have followed our step-by-step guides to business name registration, and you have been able to register your business name, then you are all set to go. Your business is legal. Nobody should harass you for running it. But of course, there are a couple of other things that you might need to do, which will make it possible for you to run your business. For example, if your business is a partnership, you will need to register for a KRA PIN for the business itself, because it's that PIN that will be used when you go to file taxes for your business, or to do other things that have to do with Kenya Revenue Authority tax compliance. If you have registered it as a sole proprietor, that is only you, then you probably don't need to register for a separate KRA PIN, because your individual PIN should serve for the purposes of the business. You might, of course, also want to register for a bank account. The bank account registration depending on the bank, they require you to do a couple of things. So for instance, if you're registering a bank account with a bank where you haven't done business before, they might require you to provide additional information about yourself. But in most cases, the banks will also require you to pay for a search, a business name search, in which the bank verifies whether that business actually exists, and you pay a little bit of money. One of the things to note, though, is that both banks and the government work very hard to make it easy for you to run your business and to make it compliant, because it's part of their business to do so, and for the government, it's a very, very important way of getting young people to engage in the business, to grow the economy of the country, and to help themselves and their families. So it's my hope that you're now going to use the tools that we have provided you and shown you in this video to not only get the registration completed if you haven't, but start running a very, very successful business. Good luck.